Hey guys, welcome to Raw Customs. I'm your host, Patrick Ropolo. This episode, we are back on the Razor Armor. On this episode, we're going to be putting together the Razor Bicep Armor, guys. So, of course, I do have templates as well as a kit. If you're interested in either one of those, head down to the description area below. You can find some links there. Now, as far as the templates go, guys, I've been getting quite a few questions from y'all. How to use them, how to add details to the phone. So if you're interested in that, check out my video on how to use templates, guys. I go over some how to use the templates as well as how to add a little bit of detail to the phone. You can always check out some of my older videos like how to make a custom shield. I go over adding details on the foam on that one. Check out the Destiny's Traveler's Chosen gun. I go through a little bit on that as well. Now, as far as the kits, guys, I have a large as well as a medium, guys. The large, as far as size, you're going to want to measure your arm, and this will fit right around a 17-inch arm. You can push it just a little bit. The actual measurements from end to end is right around 17 and a half, but you're definitely going to want to have just a little bit of room in here, guys, so you have a little bit of movement, and you can put some polyfoam in there to help grip your arm tighter. On the small, you're going to want to go with around a 14-inch arm or smaller is what this will fit, guys. So guys, I actually did make these where you're able to do an adjustment. This will be a one-time adjustment when you're making it. So what you'll do is you'll actually cut it and shrink it in the back here so that it will fit your arm tighter. However, if you have a large arm, say like a 18.5-inch arm, instead of shrinking it, you could use some scrap foam and put it in between here to stretch the back out to make it actually fit your arm. So I did design these bicep pieces to go with the Razor Armor, guys, but they are meant to be universal. So if you've been following me, you know I designed the tactical armor. Now I'm on to the Razor Armor. And my idea for everything, my big idea, is to have several different suits, but to make everything universal where you can mix match different pieces. So you could have, in this case, like the Razor chest armor, but actually use the tactical gauntlets, maybe the tactical biceps and other pieces. And as time goes on, and hopefully I'll build more suits, there'll be more options to mix match to make several different things and give you the ability to put together pieces to have that character that you have in your head come alive. I do have a few more things that I'm working on that I'll share with you at the end of the video if you're interested in that. Stick around to the end. For now, let's get to the build. For this build, you'll need the kit or the templates. If you're going with the templates, you'll need 3 sheets of 5mm EVA foam. Recommended supplies and tools are contact cement, PLASTI dip, spray paint, a heat gun, a rotary tool, an optional airbrush for details, and a razor knife. The kit comes with the pieces to make a left and right bicep. You have your front base piece and front overlays, the base pieces for the sides, and of course the overlays. On the side overlays, I'm going to put a half bevel all the way around along the top edge. You don't have to bevel any of the edges for assembly, this is just for looks. When I say half bevel, I mean a bevel around 45 degrees around half the thickness of the foam. To make the bevels, I like to use a rotary tool with a grinding stone. When sanding your edges, it's best to use a very light touch. Use a light touch and let the tool do the work. You don't have to bevel any of the edges for assembly for this prop. However, in my opinion, beveling the edges or rounding them over give the prop a better general look. On this build, I'm going to go ahead and prep all my pieces by beveling the edges before I begin assembly. On the sides, I beveled the top, front, and bottom, and left the back side square. I made a half bevel on all the side overlays all the way around. On the front base piece, I beveled the top and bottom edge. The side edges were left square. On the base overlay, I beveled the edges all the way around. On the top center overlay, I beveled the edges on the top, bottom, and outside edges on the side. The side indentions were left square. On the front top and bottom overlay, I beveled the top and side overlays, and the indention on the bottom I just left square. On the back overlay, I made a half bevel all the way around. To start assembly, take the front base piece and the main overlay. Line up the overlay with your reference lines at the top and bottom. Then trace out the side edges of your overlay to complete your reference lines. For glue, I recommend using contact cement. Apply your glue to the base piece inside your reference lines. And to the bottom surface area on your overlay. Allow time for the glue to set up. This generally takes around 5 minutes. When the glue's not shiny anymore, it's ready. Once the glue's set, you can line up your overlay with the reference lines and then press your pieces together. I recommend lining up the top edge and working your way to the bottom. Once the main center overlay is laid down, apply glue to the top surface area inside your reference lines and to the bottom surface area of your top overlays. Once your glue is set up, you can line up your top overlays and then press them into place. Start with your center overlay, line it up at the top, and then work your way to the bottom. Then line up your top and bottom overlays and press them into place. Next, grab your base side pieces. Line up the top and bottom overlay with the reference lines. Then use a pencil to trace the front and back edge to complete the reference line. On the base piece, apply glue to the top surface area inside your reference lines, and on your overlay pieces, apply glue to the bottom surface area. You probably noticed that the glue I'm using is just a little thick. This is because my can's just about empty and I'm just trying to make do with what I have for the moment. However, if you have a new can, the glue will go on thin. If your glue's thin, I recommend applying 2 coats before you press your pieces together. Once your glue's set up, you can line up your overlays and press everything together. Start with your circle, line it up, and press it into place. Then you can line up your top and bottom overlay and press them into place. Next, take the center section and line up the front edge of the side with the reference marks on your center section and trace a reference line along the front edge. You want to do this on both sides of the center section. With the side piece lined up on the center section, flip everything over together and trace a reference line onto the bottom of the side piece. On the front section, apply glue to the edges along your reference lines on each side and to the bottom surface area of your side pieces along your reference line. Once your glue's set, line up your pieces and press them together. Now you're going to want to grab your heat gun. You're going to heat form your bicep piece in sections. Heat the front section on the bottom and top. Once your piece is heated, you'll want to mold it over a cylinder. I'm using a piece of 2-inch PVC. Wrap your center section around your cylinder and hold it till it cools. Once the foam cools, it will hold its shape. Now it's time to size your bicep piece. Put it on your arm with the back side facing forward. Then overlap one side over the other. Then you can use a piece of tape to mark the edge where they overlap. Once you have your mark, line up the back edge and use some tape to hold the back together. This will allow you to put the bicep on and check it for fit. At this point, you can make adjustments if needed. Once you've made all your adjustments, trace a reference line along the edge where the back edges overlap. Then measure from the mark to your edge and make a center mark between the two. Then take a measurement from the edge to your center mark. Then transfer that measurement to the bottom and make a mark. Then transfer that measurement to the other side, top and bottom. Once you have your marks, line up a straight edge between your two marks and use a razor knife to cut off the extra. Once both sides are cut, apply glue to the edges on both sides. Once your glue is set up, you can press your edges together. Now take the back overlay piece. Using the seam as a center point, line up your back overlay using the square at top and bottom. Center the square with your seam, then trace a reference line on each side of your overlay. Then apply glue to the marked area on the bicep and to the bottom surface area of the overlay. Once the glue is set up, the back section can be glued into place. To prep the foam for paint, I like to use PLASTI dip. I recommend spraying on 2 light coats followed by 2 heavy coats. Once the PLASTI dip's dry, you can spray on your base coat of paint. I like to use 2 light coats followed by 1 to 2 heavy coats depending on coverage. To add all those details, I like to use an airbrush. However, you could use a paintbrush, spun brushes, rags, or whatever actually works for you. And to finish everything off, I added 2 coats of clear. Well, alright guys, of course I'm going to give you a closer look at the actual piece. So of course the Razor Bicep armor, really like how this turned out. I really like the adjustment being in the back here. It just makes it a little bit more accessible for most people. If you didn't notice through the video, one of the best things about this piece is it is just a layer stack when you put it together. So you don't actually have to bevel any edges or anything like that to actually do the assembly on this. Alright guys, something else I'm working on is, I think I'm going to call this the Power Pack Kit. I'm not sure about the name yet. But it's just little, basically boxes. Like this one, it could be used, you know, maybe for an intercom, a CB, something like that. I have this one here. The main idea behind these is for the Weapon X costume that I've been working on. I'm actually planning on doing some sort of video with that, at least a photo shoot or something. So I got these 3 pieces. When I put them out, it will be a kit of all 3 of these. Right now I got this like being a leg piece hanging off the belt. However, this could actually be like a chest piece, real easy. It could be turned upside down. You know, some hoses going up to a helmet or something. Maybe a flight pilot, something along those lines. Whatever, you can use your imaginations to come up with an idea to use these for. But that's what I've got going on so far. Like I said, these are meant, right now they go hook onto the belt and hang off, you know, for that. And I'm planning on running some hose from one to another, and probably up to the helmet. So we'll see what happens, where everything goes with this, but that's what I'm working on right now. See if I can get these 3 pieces side by side. So that's what I'm looking at right now, and these are finished, but I do need to make a video on how to put them together, throw the tutorial together for you guys. So there are a few costumes that I've always wanted to build. One being an actual Halo costume. So that's like literally just in the computer and in my head right now. I'm starting to play with it a little bit, but that's one of those costumes that I want to be pretty accurate with and make it look pretty good. And I've always wanted to make a stormtrooper costume, so this is a side project that I got going on, guys. This is the very first test build on it. Turned out halfway decent, you know, it's something in my head. Now I know on the stormtrooper, this one probably will not be movie accurate when I get through with it, because there's things that I think could be better when I look at the costume. One thing being on the side, especially since I'm going to be using foam, I'm going ahead and closing the side down, even though I know it's open right here. But I think when you close it in or pull the sides together, it actually holds the foam better. So that's why I'm going this route at the moment with it. That could change. Like I said, it is a side build. Don't be in a hurry for this, guys. Like I said, I've got so many other stuff that I'm trying to get through to get out for you guys. But when I do get this finished, I definitely will be putting out pieces, putting out a kit. But it's just my side project for the moment. Alright guys, so my main focus right now is not side projects. It is the actual Razor armor that I'm working on. So yes, I am filming tutorial after tutorial on this. So this one here was a test build, so there's very little that I've done on this piece to film. However, all these pieces are filmed over here. But I just want to see, number one, gonna have two sizes, of course. So I've got, this is gonna be a large to extra large, and this right here will be a medium to small. I am trying to do the best I can to make everything adjustable where it can close in a little bit and spread out, both on the chest piece and of course the ab section as well. Now I am spending just a little bit more time on the paint jobs, guys, just to make them look a little bit more flashy and maybe give you guys a little bit of inspiration, just to add a little bit more detail to your work. So as right now, guys, on the armor I have the helmet, the chest piece, the ab section, the bicep, of course, which I'm putting out today, the gauntlet, which I'm planning out putting out next, and then the thigh armor, which I just now finished the first build on those. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about the Razor armor. I love to hear your guys' feedback. For now, God bless, and I'll see you on the next one.